You are looking live from Liberty Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, for this Week 2 Simulation Football League matchup between the Houston Hyenas and the Sioux Falls Sparrows. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Colin Northrup. My color analyst is Rick Northrup.
Good morning, everybody.
Houston looks to continue the trend of having more rushing touchdowns. No other team had more than one, and Sioux Falls had 0.
Uh-oh.
We have Ryan Caudell on stats. Both teams were in a positive turnover ratio, and this is a rather interesting series, Rick, as Houston gets to call the toss of the coin as visitor.
Indeed, Colin, this is a tasty matchup for your brunch, your football brunch here in South Dakota. What's the best Dakota, by the way, Colin?
It's probably South Dakota.
I gotta go with South Dakota.
Houston will take the ball first.
Interesting history. East and West Dakota were so lame, they're gone.
And the kickoff from Maxwell Fallick, the rookie place kicker.
Come on, Rook. Kick it.
He's going to kick it deep. And we're underway. Return fielded from the 2-yard line by Leroy Brown up the middle, spins to the 24-yard line, and that's where the Hyenas will start. Their quarterback is number 5, Kentez Johnson. Warren Murray had 31 carries for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. Leroy Brown already introduced himself to you. The other wide receivers are Duke Wilson, D.R. Sim. The tight end is Dak Lewis, and Alistair Johnson is the left guard. Johnson back to throw on first down. Fires over the middle. It is complete for about a 7-yard pickup up the middle to Lewis.
There's some interesting storylines on both sides of the ball, Colin, as I know you're going to set the defense here.
Here is Johnson. Lines up under center. Staring at a loaded defensive front and turns, gives to Murray, first down.
I run right at it. Pretty standard football. Nice little throw over the middle to get things started and then just bust in the gut.
There's a look at your lineup. Johnson, he's spent all 4 years here with Houston. He's provided stability at that position. Of course, there was Murray and Duke Wilson. After a couple seasons of hiatus, is back with the Hyenas. Previously spent time with the Tallahassee Pride. As Brown turns and makes the catch for a pickup of 5 yards. Tackle made by the cornerback, John Bonhart.
Shout out for the SAT word, hiatus. Hyena and hiatus. That's fun to say.
So John Bonhart is the one corner, number 26. Number 34 is Terrell Davis. No, not that Terrell Davis. The free safeties are Jay Ringgold and, of course, the veteran A.J. Levy. Get to the rest of the lineup in just a moment. As they get a bunch formation, Johnson again to throw. This time we'll swing it out to Murray, and Murray's got the first down to the 47, but he's blown up by Levy for his trouble.
Hey, hats off. Credit where credit's due. The swing pass was actually executed well that time.
All right, so we have James Kelly, Jonathan Camp, Noel Teresis at the non-contracted defensive tackle, Alex Parker, the inside linebacker, Jose Fuentes, and Nick Fargo are the outside linebackers. For the Sparrows defense, the throw over the middle is dropped. On first down, pass intended for Wiggins, he couldn't hang on.
Wow, an on-target throw that's dropped. Maybe we'll get a better look from the guys in the truck. No, I guess not. Put them on Mountain Dew and Pop-Tart allocation already.
As Johnson is already 2 for 3 to start the game. That was his first incompletion. He has 2 receivers to the bottom of the formation. Turns, gives to Murray. He runs backwards and lost 3 yards.
Good little cat and mouse there on the defensive side of the ball, Colin, as the The previous play, they had put 6 on the line and backed 3 out. This time they have 3 down linemen and walk up 3 more, and then they send everybody and they bleed into the backfield for a loss.
Here's 3rd and 13. First third down situation today faced by the Hyenas. 7-step drop by Johnson. Fires down the middle of the field. Knocked away by Barnhart. His deflection of today. Pass was intended for, I believe, Leroy Brown, and the Hyenas will be forced to kick it.
You know, Barnhart was a little bit in no man's land, but that throw is slightly flat, and he's got some leaping ability. Apparently, he gets up and gets the paw on it.
Here's Levy. He also returns punts and kicks for the Sparrow squad. He's been in the league for about 7 years now. All with
Sioux.
He's been in the league 9 years. Parker's been in the league for about 7, so a lot of veterans on this defense. As Levy returns it up to the 26.
Did you say Niner?
And we get our first look at the Sparrows offense. Julian Tyree, number 10, the quarterback, his 9th season. Colin Hart is the running back, number 22. And a rookie 3rd-round draft pick, Jalen Wells, is fullback, number 33. The receivers are A.J. Warren, Al Dupree Sr., Riley Porter, and the tight end is the rookie, Aaron Brown. Here's Tyree, drops back to throw, fires it down the middle long, and it's intercepted by Kai Cash.
A little bingo bango right there.
No, that's Brady Clark, rather. The free safety.
It's Clarky with an E. Oh, Canada.
Pass intended for Porter, and it basically turns out to be an arm punt.
On first down, someone forgot to tell them, you don't have to punt until 4th down. Oh, boy. Well, that's not the way they wanted to start, said the gratuitous comment from Captain Obvious.
2 tight ends on the field, 1 receiver to either side. Murray, the single back here. They turn gift to him, pulling guard, but he's only able to get back to the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Sioux Falls getting wise to the running game there. I think the onus is on Houston to get them back guessing again.
And Parker surveys the defense. Here they go, split backs. 2 receivers to the bottom. I believe that is Sim and Wilson, as Johnson fires deep down the middle, and it's also intercepted. And that is A.J. Levy. So he says, anything my opposition can do, I can do a little bit better. And Johnson throws it right back.
Wow. Well, the defense bails the offense out. Let's see what they do here.
And A.J. pick 6.
Maybe taking a deep shot on your first play from scrimmage. Obviously, it was not such a good idea. Let's see where they go here.
James Kelly in the chat loves it.
We got a lot of people in the backfield, Colin.
We got a 3-man backfield set with Wells and an extra tight end in front of Hart. And Colin Hart gets the carry, breaks the tackle. Not quite. He gets up to the 47. That's his first carry. Picks up a 5.
That's a sturdy run against as Houston was matching them with an 8.5-man front, as they had a DB sort of in a linebacker position. Still gets good yardage.
And 3-man backfield. Here's to get to Hart. Breaks the tackle, and Colin Hart picks up the first down to the Houston 47. We'll set the rest of that Hyena defense for you. Chris Joseph is the defensive end, number 74. Skylar Kingsley is the other defensive end, number 91. Mike Fatch Johnson is the defensive tackle, number 99. Rodney Panini is the inside linebacker, number 52. Angel Salinas and Shane Ainsley are the outside backers, as Colin Hart gets another carry and picks up 8 yards. Corners are Jacob Clear, number 33. Everett Garrison, number 44. Brady Clark, who had the interception, is number 43 at free safety. And the strong safeties are Ethan Kai and the 3rd-round pick, number 27, Kai Cash. Here's Wells and Hart in the backfield. Here's to get to Hart up the middle, following a point. Fullback. Oh!
over the DB.
And Ethan Kai saves what would have been a touchdown as Hart explodes off the left side of formation for a huge gain.
And there's a little bit of your ticket money value for you as he runs over a DB. Love that.
Here is Tyree, empties the backfield. Three to the bottom, one to the top. Here's the throw over the middle of Brown, and his first reception goes down to the 7. It'll be first and goal for the Sparrow.
Sparrows.
You know, us being here in the Midwest, you don't think I forgot the S, but I forgot it that time.
How can you forget the Midwest S?
First and goal from the 7. There's a look at Brown. Two men in the backfield. Hand off to Hart, falling the pulling guard, and he walks in untouched for the touchdown. Colin Hart scores the first points of the day for Sioux Falls.
Well done after that inauspicious start. They go right down the field and punch it in the end zone.
Here he just follows the pulling guard. I believe that was, let's see who that was. Freddie Fox was in there at the fullback position, the backup tailback, getting a nice block.
You know, they made that, I don't say they made that look easy, but that was a nice football play, well executed, and it just shows you, Colin, the details matter.
And Felix,
the kick is good.
So with 5:13 left, Sioux Falls is in front of Houston 7-0. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fan. And we're back here in South Dakota as the Sparrows take a 7-0 lead on Colin Hart's first rushing touchdown of the year. The return by Leroy Brown spins up the middle and gets knocked down at the 25. So let's take a look at these running backs. Although each were pretty, they were top 10 in rushing touchdowns last year, similar yards per carry, although Hart was the better receiving threat with over 100 receptions.
148, look at that, double almost his opposite number.
Here's Johnson, empty backfield. He will step to throw over the middle. Oh, and he almost threw another interception. That was Jose Fuentes knocking that one down.
Yeah, Fuentes puffing up his feathers a little bit, but he ought to be slightly embarrassed that he didn't actually catch that.
Fuentes, his second year at Sioux Falls, spent the previous 2 with Atlanta. Johnson's numbers are not pretty to say the least. 20 yards in that pick. Shotgun formation. He throws again deep down the field. It's intercepted for that Barnhart, and it's more of the same.
That's 2 great plays by Barnhart already in this first quarter. He had that big mitt up in the air to tip a pass away, and here he elevates again and makes the catch.
Duke Wilson saves what could have been a huge run back.
They're already in trouble based on field position, but you're right. Could have been even worse.
Here's Tyree. Lines up with a tight end flex as a third wide receiver. They tried to do quarterback sneak. Vance Johnson would have none of it. He put it up right at the line of scrimmage.
Excellent individual effort there by him to bust through the line and snuff that out, Colin. Well, the Rick meter is now leaning in Sioux Falls' direction, and it could go solid if they stick it in the end zone here.
Here's Tyree, empty backfield. Will fire it down the field, and it's caught.
Red zone.
It is caught. That's the first reception of the day for A.J. Warren, and gets him down to the 12. And Tyree is just slinging that melon all over the yard. Kai with his second tackle.
That was a tougher throw than it looked like from the sideline, Colin. You see that end zone camera? There wasn't. If he didn't catch it, it was going right to the defender.
5 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown for Hardy's in a split back with Wells. One receiver to the bottom. They'll throw out of it, and they'll swing it to Hart. This is their signature. They call themselves Swing City, and that picks up 5 yards down to the 7.
We haven't seen a lot of the swing pass necessarily, or at least maybe not the frequency we'd expected last year, Colin.
Well, they kind of reinvented themselves. They realized the league was catching up to their tendencies to want to swing it to the backs.
The league was on to them.
And Wells, again with Hart in a split back set. Here's the give off to, I believe that is Wells. And he powers down to the 4-yard line to set up a 3rd and 1.
That's a great description. Tough sledding down there, but he squirts through almost to the line of gain. Bring up 3rd and 1.
That's exactly why you bring a guy like that in.
Oh, wait, I got to make my obvious comment. They can get a first down here still without scoring.
High formation quarterback sneak. Tyree is going to get blown up.
Blown up, sir.
So they try it twice on the drive. And
neither time works.
And Salinas, among others, making the stop. And this is where having a place kicker is so valuable. It's going to get 3 points.
And they huddled up to kick the field goal. I always find that curious.
Snap. Spot kick is good. So with 2:45 left to go in the first, Sioux Falls has a 10-0 lead over the Houston Hyenas at home. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fan. Welcome back to Sioux Falls, as the hometown Sparrows have opened up a 2-score lead over the Houston Hyenas, 10-0 with 2:45 in the first. Leroy Brown back again. This time he'll field it from his 3-yard line. Up the middle he goes, and will get tackled at the 23.
Leroy Brown has had 3 returns, and they all look the same. Catches it near the goal line, trots out, puts a spin move on.
Leroy had 71 receptions on 108 targets for over 1,200 yards last year. He's 5th in the Simulation Football League with close to 17 yards per catch and 8 receiving touchdowns.
That's a huge YPC, by the way.
Here is Johnson. Will go down for the sack. A lost play. James Kelly, the first-round draft pick at number 10 overall on the hit.
Wow, disappointingly for the Hyenas, he stood there like the house by the side of the road. No idea he was breaking free on the blind side. He just beats his man. Well, that puts a little pressure on the Hyenas here, Colin. Deep in their own end zone, in their own end. 2nd and 16.
Interesting comment from Eddie Gage. I'll get back to in a moment as Johnson fires it down the field.
Oh!
It is caught by D.R. Sim at the 39, and Johnson's now up to 42 yards in those 2 interceptions as he threaded it, that one into the tiniest window possible. Look at that. My goodness, John Barnhart, you couldn't have played it any better. Eddie Gage said, despite those numbers for Brown, he was not voted to the Pro Bowl. Strangely enough.
Wow. Hey, yeah, he's a dog.
Here's Murray in the backfield. Johnson under center, turns, gives the counterplay to Murray. Murray has all kinds of running room, and Warren Murray makes the tackle 30. And he almost scores as he gets tackled by AJ Levy at the 3.
Oh, my goodness.
By far his longest run of the day. My goodness.
Great play design as it looks like a sprint out to the right side, and whoops, it's a counter.
Look at Alistair Johnson, 6'4", 320, running stride for stride with his tailback.
Right? Let's see if we can catch a glimpse of him on the sideline getting some 0-2.
Here's I formation, 2 tight ends in a balanced line. The doctor, Sim to the bottom as Murray gets the handoff, tries to finish the job, and he only got to the 1.
Oh, it looked like he was close to breaking the plane, Colin. The vaunted plane. The plane.
Again, they go similar formation, except it's offset to the right side this time. Johnson fires it up to Murray, and he only got to the line of scrimmage.
Oh, my gosh. Anything could happen right there.
A 3rd and goal from the 1. Do they actually hand it off to Murray, or do they pull the Seattle and try and throw for it? They did it on 2nd down. Now Sim to the top. Same 2 tight end setup as before. Going wide to Murray, and he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Hyenas.
Chez just called and said, "The plane is finally broken."
As Warren Murray scores a 1-yard touchdown to cap a drive.
Just try not to laugh. Kappa Drive. I was a member of that fraternity for a while. Kappa Drive. Well, this will pull the Rick meter back to lean sparrows.
As we get a look at the stats, Warren Murray, that was a 58-yard run as he has 61 yards on 6 carries. Thanks for Ryan Caudell for the stats. And Johnson has only completed 4 passes, but unfortunately for Houston, he's also completed 2 to the other team. So the Hyenas have a 6-play, 78-yard drive capped by a Warren Murray touchdown run of a yard.
Thank you, Ryan Caudell.
And here is the return by Levy as he gets sandwiched at the 29-yard line.
Well, let's see if there's an answer here, Colin. A little pressure on Sioux Falls. This is the point where if they can't at least possess the ball and put some first downs on the board, I think you get a potential momentum shift to Houston.
Tyree 3 of 4 for 48 yards, and now he's completed another one. This pass to Wells, and Wells gets out of bounds for a pickup of 7, his first reception.
No surprise they know how to do the swing pass, as you'd already mentioned, Colin.
They go to the flats again, and it was open. This guy was picked in the 3rd round at pick 45, and so far he's turning out to be one of those bargain finds.
Bargain. Call him a bargain. Best they've ever had.
There's Tyree. Leads his team out of the huddle. And usually they'll go very tight split with Riley Porter. Almost lined up like a tight end, except he's standing up. Here's to get to Wells up the middle, and he is stopped. And as we reach the end of the first quarter, the score is Houston 7, Sioux Falls 10. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the Fan. As we begin second quarter action from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, we're facing a 3rd and 3 for the Sparrows. Here's turns, hands off to Alden, and muscles his way 3 yards, but he needed 3. He has 42 yards and 6 carries. And the stop is made, and the Sparrows will be forced to
Well, you
punt.
know what they say, Colin. Thou shalt count to 3. Thou shalt not stop at 2. He stopped at 2. 3 shall be the number. So we're going to get a punt. Houston, Sioux Falls not able to possess the ball very well.
Chad Taco coming in has 2.5 sacks. That puts him near the top of the leaderboard. This fair catch is called by Leroy Brown.
As the most recent successful drive was Houston. They've got a chance to grab the momentum, in my humble opinion, and pull the Rick meter maybe back to neutral. It's still leaning Sparrows, the African European sparrow. That's a whole thing we haven't even talked about yet. Do we know?
A press coverage from Sioux Falls. A dangerous situation. All 11 defenders in the picture. As Johnson has to step up, scrambles, and throws it out of bounds.
Nearly hits the down marker as Murray has to go out of bounds to catch that ball.
Oh, Mike and Proda, the Chicago Wildcats. Rick, he's asking, what do I need to do to get into Kappa Drive?
Well, we'll get to that a little bit later in the broadcast, but yes, there's quite an adventure, my pledging of Kappa Kappa Drive.
5 wide receivers, 3 to top. No, 4 wide, 3 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Tight end is also eligible. As Johnson fires over the middle, that was slants intended for Brown, knocked away by the veteran Alex Parker. It'll be 3rd and 10. So far for the Hyenas, they're 0 of 2 on 3rd down. In fact, neither team has been converting a third down. There's a look at Brown. I formation. Murray dotting the I. Johnson makes a deep drop back. Fires to the sideline. Almost intercepted on deflection by 8. Carpenter tipped the pass. Pass intended for Duke Wilson.
Oh, man. Hey, Dookie. What's up? Boy, that's an entertaining play right there. You're getting a little bit more of your value for your money. We always want to provide value for money. With that play right there.
And here is a punt from the Hyenas.
Yeah, good job, Spatos.
Standing at his own 10 is Adams. Rushes on, nearly blocked, but he gets it away. Call it hang time, and Levy will be tackled almost immediately at his 38-yard line.
Well, the Rick meter is still going to be leaning Sparrows at this point, especially after the Hyenas shoot themselves in the foot and can't migrate the ball downfield, which, of course, is the objective of the game. Sparrows did an excellent job defeating that.
3 backs in the backfield. J.J. McGee, the extra tight end next to Wells. Here's to get to Colin Hart. Has to fight through traffic, and he gets 1 yard.
Who are the 2 guys in the backfield, Colin? Besides Colin Hart. Do you remember? Well, it's neither here nor there. They set that up so they've got they pull a guard and they have 2 blockers out of the backfield, and none of them block anything. And Colin Hart has to do it all on his own. Gets a yard.
There they go, 4 wide. Tyree back to throw. Fires this one over the middle. It's caught by Riley Porter.
Oh, man.
And Hyena 40, his first reception. He was targeted one other time, and remember, that ended up in an arm punt.
Wow, he's like, I'm going to ditch that run game and just go over the middle here for some chunk yardage.
Again, they go this sort of almost wing T looking formation with Porter split real tight to the line of scrimmage. They give off the Hart, follows Wells block, and picks up 7 yards.
That's how you do it, out executing the Hyenas on that play.
And what perfect play call by Julian Tyree. The 9th-year veteran, he's been around all 9 years this Sparrow franchise has played in the Simulation Football League. Now they go with 3 tight ends. And they go the other way with the pulling guard, and Wells got a block, and Hart was able to muscle his way first down yardage to 29.
I didn't catch the number on the Hyena. It was a linebacker, I think, who came over to stop him. Had he not, there was going to be even more damage done by the Sparrows, Colin.
There is Mike Johnson. His defense is staring at another one of those 3-man backfields. Here they give wide on the power play of Hart, and Colin Hart only picks up 3 yards. Averaging half a first down every time Hart touches the ball. And Hart has 11 carries for 59 yards, also has 1 catch for 5. Again, they go heavy and they're just man-balling everybody all over the place. This looks like Harbaugh with the 49ers.
Oh, but it's a swing pass.
Swing pass to Hart out of the backfield. They'll set up a 3rd and 3. Hard tackle made by Shane Easley.
Well, they definitely want to get the ball into their skilled players' hands, and that be Colin Hart.
Here he is lining up in the I formation on 3rd and 2. Here's Brown. He has only 1 catch, but it was clutch. And again, they go quarterback sneak, and
Wow.
It's not going to work.
Wow. Quarterback sneak with 3 yards to go. Maybe they were counting on a push, just moving the pile.
And Mike Johnson again on the stop. And Maxwell Follick on to try the field goal attempt. Made one earlier. And the field goal is good from 38 yards.
Maxwell's silver hammer.
And with 6:34 to go in the second quarter, the Sioux Falls Sparrows lead the Houston Hyenas 13-7. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans. Here, and the Sparrows now have a 13-7 lead as the kickoff is away. Fielded by Leroy Brown inside his own 2, cuts up the middle, and Brown gets knocked down at the Hyena 27. When you take a look at the rushing leaderboards from last year, there's our friend Warren Murray, 5th place with over 1,200 yards. You know, kind of quietly done, you know, a team really rather known for its defensive prowess. But with Eddie Gage gone in Arizona, Murray stepped up his game in a huge way so far this season for the Hyenas. As Johnson is back to throw. Throws it out on a swing pass to Murray, and Murray will pick up 2 yards to the 29 before getting his clock clean. Ashley Jackson in on the chat. Good morning, man.
Checking in from work, I noticed. That's tough. I'd love to quit my day job and do football all the time.
Here is Johnson. Fires over the middle. It is caught by number 81, Barry Bergens. A yard short of first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Now let's see if they break out the QB sneak. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Nope.
Harish Prasad says hello as Warren Murray gets greeted by Nick Fargo as they're unable to gain a yard on 3rd and 1. It'll be 4th and.
Fargo makes a play in South Dakota. Well, here's another punt. It's degenerated into a punting test with the random extra point, Colin. I mean, extra field goals. Random field goal.
Now let's see if the Houston defense can hold serve. They stopped this Sparrow offense on their last drive, held them to 3 points as Levy turns it up to the 34.
Decent little return by Levy there.
I gotta say, these all black ensembles with a little bit of touch in yellow and gray for Sioux Falls are quite sharp.
They are sharp.
Here's 2 tight ends in balance line. Standard pro set backfield. Porter the single receiver. Hyenas showing blitz from the right side. Instead they'll throw out of it over the middle to Brown, and Brown is able to pick up 4 yards. Tyree, he's up to 81 yards passing, but he only has the 1 turnover.
Not a bad approach.
Johnson's 2.
Sorry, not a bad approach as they back out, trying to throw underneath the backpedaling linebackers. But they recovered in time to stop them short.
You know, Brown is a really inviting target at 6'6", 235.
He's a big receiver.
All these receivers are over 6 foot. And the throw, oh, Rodney Panini almost had interception.
Through the hands.
And it was Mr. Joseph who was applying the pressure.
Well, it's 3rd and a little bit longer than you'd like to see, Colin.
3rd and 6. There's a look at Porter matched up.
Do they go to their bread and butter swing pass?
Let's see. They go 4 wide. They go more standard passing look. Oh! It's Turgeon James down the field to the 10, to the 8-yard line. Tackle made by Panini.
Great route and recognition by the receiver and the QB, Colin, as he just finds a little dead spot in the zone.
Oh, my.
Right this and gets hit.
Turgeon James, the 6 foot, 200-pound slot guy.
That puts him in the red zone. Feeling good about themselves. They're walking tall, looking good. So you might have noticed I got a little weight problem. Doctor says I swallowed a lot of cheeseburgers and some aggression.
I'm an effing problem in the chat says, wow, they just let him go.
They did.
As Tyree is back again to throw, fires to the end zone and is caught. And that is the first reception of the day for Al Dupree Sr., the rookie wide receiver, catches in the end zone for Sioux Falls. Now 16-7.
Almost an Ibit or a ditto of the previous play. Again, finds a dead spot in the zone. They just let him go.
They ran scissors. The outside guy ran a post, and the inside guy ran a corner, and the corner was open.
Wow.
Oh, man. So with 3:48 to go in
the second.
Stay
with me.
It's about to be 20-7 pending the extra point, which is through. So if you're Houston, you got to be really desperate. And it's not like you can steal signals like the Astros used to do. You can't exactly.
There we go.
You can't exactly bang trash cans on the sideline.
Oh yeah, it's tough to cheat like that in football. Well, you're right. I don't know that they're desperate, but Houston is going to need points. Ideally, a touchdown here, Colin, as we're getting dangerously close to halftime.
And Brown returns it up to close to the 30. They'll mark him at the 29. Baltimore, following their impressive demolition of Seattle, was ranked number 1 in this week 2 power rankings. It was a 33-6 smash fest by the Vultures and the Tigers. Empty backfield set for Johnson, all by himself. He's back to throw.
Pumps
fires over the middle, and it's caught.
How did you get that in there?
It is caught by DR Sim, the doctor. He takes a big hit from AJ Levy, but he got his team a first down.
The doctor is in, and this is why you learn to throw the touch ball. You got to put a little rainbow out there as he drops it right over the heads of 3 or 4 Hyena defenders. Again, you throw the laser with your your young cannon arm. Those seem to go together. That thing's going to get knocked down or worse.
That was a 23-yard gain on Sims' first catch. He'd been targeted 2 other previous times before that. Johnson will step to throw again, fires it out to Murray, and Murray will get out of bounds after a pickup of 6. You know, this kind of reminds me of the last time these two teams played. You know, it was a 17-12 Sioux Falls triumphed, and Warren Murray had over 100 receiving yards, but only 39 rushing yards on 20 carries.
That was an interesting fabric to that game as they hit him a ton.
Here's Johnson changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Steps back under center, turns, gives to Murray on a trap play up the middle, and picks up a first down.
There you go. Move the sticks. I mean, there's still time, and they're now on the plus side of the field. So you got to be patient, but yet play with some assertiveness. That makes sense. Might not. I mean, it's still 11:47 in the East. 10 Central. 10:47.
Here is Johnson back to throw, fires it down the field, and it's caught.
Woohoo!
That is Duke Wilson.
Dookie.
Down to the 24, and that might be the last play before the 2-minute warning. So we get another look at it here. Just a dart from Johnson here on this post cut.
And there's the laser when you need it. Right in there.
And that will be the final play before the 2-minute warning. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the Fan. Coming out of the 2-minute warning here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Sparrows lead the Houston Hyenas 20-7, but the Hyenas are driving as Kentez Johnson lines up sidecar left. Is Murray next to Johnson, turns, fires, has the tight end open on a flat route, and he picks up about close to 8 yards on the play. So the previous meeting was a 17-12 Sioux Falls triumph, and we referenced it earlier, 150 total yards for one, 14 catches, 8.1 yards for reception. Robert Redford now playing with Las Vegas at 31 carries that day for 136 yards and a rushing touchdown. As Johnson fires down the middle. Oh, Jose Fuentes almost came down to the ball.
You had the pick call right in your throat, didn't you, Colin? I think everybody did. How was that not a Kappa Kappa drive killer?
Almost an interception. Here's 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top as they go 4 wide. And they'll throw out of it. Over the middle, and it's caught. All the way down to the 7-yard line. That was the fullback, number 32 for the Hyenas.
That's a first down. The clock's rolling. I think
Mike Allen.
I think it might have used a timeout here, Colin. So that play ended with 1:17 left.
And now we're close down to a minute. Allenson again to throw to the end zone. Away. That was Barnhart again, although Sim was in the area.
That'll get you your clock stopped. We'll call that a practice throw, right? If you're Houston, just practice.
Look at this corner route.
Ooh,
almost a deep whip route in the back of the end zone. And Harish Prashad asking how was that not picked?
Wow, and Barnhart, even though it wasn't picked, Barnhart's having himself a heck of a half right here. He's
matched up against Sim in press coverage in the slot.
He's getting a lot of work when you're covering Sim.
Here's Johnson again to throw. Fires to the end zone and is caught for the touchdown. And that is Wiggins, the backup tight end of Dax Lewis.
What does your faithful correspondent know about using timeouts as they stick it in the end zone, Colin, with time to spare?
He was open, matched up, favorable matchup, linebacker on a tight end, even a reserve tight end, a guy who's getting paid in peanuts rather than points, can make that play.
Well, an important extra point as they try and make this to within 6.
And that drive was a 9-play, 72-yard drive, and that was an 8-yard touchdown pass to Brad Wiggins from Kentez Johnson.
Did they score too soon? 53 seconds left, and
full complement of timeouts.
The Sparrows have a little game, They got game. You got game.
Here is the kickoff. Returned by Levy about his 5-yard line, and AJ gets blown up. That is Kai Cash on special teams.
This runs right into the pile. Nothing exciting there. Seems like bouncing it out to the sideline one of these times might be an opportunity for them.
So 49 seconds left. What do you do here? You've been pretty much in control of the game if you're Sioux Falls.
This might be one of those, let's run a play or two, see if we can get down the field in position. If we can't, just play out the string.
And Tyree pop passes this one to Warren, but he's out of bounds. It was placed right past the defender, but Warren just wandered a little bit too far.
That was well defended. Probably forced that throw out of bounds.
And R62 says, okay, the booth's going to take a look at this. So we get our first appearance from R62 today. I'm going to look at this. Tyree.
Which brings to mind, Colin, I don't think we've had a penalty yet in this game, have we? Ooh, 1 foot.
Maybe one's all you need. There's a look at Jason McGee and Damon Simeon. And they're calling it a catch.
Wow. There we go.
On the field.
As he meets the requirements for a catch as ruled by the league or the video replay, wherever they're basing themselves.
Again, they go 3 tight ends.
Looks like a running play, but it's
not.
They're
going to throw, and Hart
gets the first down.
And they'll use a timeout with 39 seconds left.
So now it gets even more interesting. Got a little success, got a first down. 39 seconds and 2 timeouts.
Here is Hart. He's been busy today doing both things. Riley Porter's very tight to line of scrimmage to the wide receiver. And they will give it off to Hart. And Hart trying to bust this one open to the 40. And here they go in the hurry up.
Oh, no.
Everybody gets set quickly.
And Houston had loaded the box on that play, and they still get outside as Houston loses contained.
Here is the give to Hart. Same play.
Keep contained there. And hold him for a short gain.
And are they going to use their timeout? No, they're not. Hart, no. And they call it with 1 second. As it's 3rd and 8 from the Houston 41.
Questionable clock management there.
Jason McGee is not going to be happy with his quarterback. He's grabbing him by the face mask.
Oh, ouch. Yeah, probably goes both ways there, Colin. I don't know what they're doing trying to run on that. Ugh. My head hurts from that.
Now they'll go Hail Mary. Urgent James joins the other 3 wide receivers. Warren, Dupree, and Porter. Back to throw is Tyree. Pressure in his face. He's stuck. Couldn't avoid Bats Johnson. He gets his first sack, and that's the end of the first half.
As the sad trombone plays for the end of that drive for the Sparrows.
As we reach 20-7 at the end of the half.
20-7? Hello?
20-14. I must have forgotten that.
God, you blanked out that last Houston touchdown.
So we get a look at the stats. Rushing yards in favor of Sioux Falls as well as passing yards, but yardage and everything, but it's still relatively close. That defense holding them to multiple field goals has allowed the Hyenas to remain in this game. Brady Clark had the interception on Sioux Falls' first drive, and then 2 plays later, AJ Levy takes it right back. Look at the pulling guard, Freddie Fox just doing a little interference block as he came in for Wells. Johnson he got picked that time. Johnson, 13 of 23 for 113, a touchdown and an interception. Leroy Brown team's leading wide receiver from a year ago, held without a catch in the first half. I had only one target. Warren Murray, 66 yards on 7 totes, most of it coming on this 58-yard run. Sioux Falls with a couple of kicks. Hyenas and Sparrows both 1 for 5 on 3rd down. You need to improve that efficiency if you're both. Kai with a couple of tackles. 1 pass pickup from Panini. Panati. And here's Johnson's touchdown pass to Wiggins. Dak Lewis, 1 catch for 8 yards. Sim, 2 catches for 41, and Duke Johnson, 1 for 18. Colin Hart, 13 carries, 61 yards. First half, 4 catches for 33 yards. Jalen Wells had a few nice totes to the rock, but 0 yardage at the moment, along with 1 catch for 7 yards. Back here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Hyenas will kick off to start the second half of play. And Bailey's kick is deep to Levy, who comes up the middle, makes a man miss with a juke, and takes it up to the 32. And Mike and Proda says we need Colin Hart next to George Washington up on that mountain. Maybe. If Hart were ever to become president, maybe he could be up there. Tyree. Under center. 2 backs in the backfield. Pulling guard. Hart follows blockers, but gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. Everett Garrison, the 3rd-year veteran, was Defensive Player Rookie of the Year when he came in on the stop on that play. Ethan Kai coordinating this defense as the player coach. As Tyree drops back to throw, pop flies this one, turns it is wide open again, and he runs down the field to the 30, to the 25, and knocked down at the 24. Tyree is close to 200 yards thanks to that last reception. James was wide open again. We'll take a look at it. They just let him go. Bam Woodson, the backup free safety to Brady Clark. Just let him go on that play.
And again, the Sparrows take advantage of some mistakes.
Here's Tyree back to throw. Pop flies this one to A.J. Warren. And, you know, looking at Tyree's career numbers coming in, it was just really impressive. This guy is number 3 all time in touchdown passes behind 2 Hall of Famers, including 1 active one on that list, Matt Wilson. It's number 2, Rocco Marconi, of course, number 1. So we have 3 tight ends. Brown is the farthest one on the wing. Here's he gets to Colin Hart, breaks the tackle, rolls over down defender, and touchdown Sparrows as he does the dirty bird.
You can't tell me he doesn't have a nose for the score. And even Denver, the service dog, is excited as he made the trip with us to South Dakota.
Here he broke the tackle.
Oh, a little hurdle move.
Up number 45 for the Hyenas, and a little hurdle over his down man and just outran everyone. As Jack gets excited. So we're now back up to a 2-score lead, pending the extra point. Snap, spot, kick is good. So with 9:30 to go in the third quarter, Sioux Falls extends their advantage further to 27-14. You're watching the Simulation Football League all on the sports and for the fans. So after having no rushing touchdowns last week against Queen City, Colin Hart gets his first 2 this week. As he caps that last drive in spectacular fashion, 4 plays, 67 yards, and a 19-yard rushing touchdown. Here's the return by Leroy Brown. How many times have we said that today? As he gets up close to the 25 and mark him at the 24. Hogs fan James Kelly, the defensive end for the Sparrows, says we had the high-quality H2O. Must have imported it from Bobby Boucher down in the Louisiana Bayou.
Oh, my gosh.
It's Kentez Johnson has Eda back next to him in the gun. 3 wide receivers. He's back to throw. Fires it down the middle. AJ Levy! Yep, the tip drill gets the pick, and things just continue to go from bad to worse for these Hyenas.
Well, they'd been threatening to make a pick on a tip drill a couple times earlier during the game.
And Fuentes knocked that in the air.
That caps that drive, the nascent drive. There's your SAT word for the day of the Hyenas. We talked earlier about Kappa Kappa Drive, that fraternity that I pledged I'd gone to have an undergraduate degree from Western Michigan University. So the Kappa Kappa Drive organization was one of the premier ones on campus, totally sports obsessed.
And the throw. Oh, back in the air and intercepted by Kai Cash. Wearing Eddie Gage's old number, and he picks off Tyree in one play, and back and forth we go, just like the beginning of the game. My word.
Back-to-back tip drills, no less. Look at that. Spectacular fashion.
A.J. Warren couldn't grab it. The Hyena defender who tipped it up couldn't grab it.
You are definitely getting your money's worth, people, today out of the brunch time SFL game. Prove me wrong. Convince me
3
otherwise.
wide receivers. I formation Johnson. And he's going to throw again.
Oh,
goodness gracious! Oh, look at that! 3 interceptions! Oh, my word!
Oh, my God.
John Barhart second of the day as he goes for Sim, and instead he arm punches back for the other team. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Is Jameis Winston in disguise for the Hyenas at quarter?
Who'd have thought this game was going to be a pick'em? I don't know why they call them dad jokes. To me, they're just jokes.
Here's an empty shotgun look for Tyree. He pop flies this over the middle to Brown, and that's a first down to 26. Reach Prasad says, someone run the ball for God's sake. Here's the split backfield formation. First and 10 from the 26, Tyree. Pop flies this one to Hart. Out of bounds for a pickup of 2. Ethan Kai suffered cramps. He may return. This is where it pays to add the backup.
Indeed. So, I don't know. I will leave it to the league to sort this out. But have we ever had a back-to-back picks? It seems to me we called a game, Colin, where there were 6 picks in 9 plays or something. Remember that one last year? I don't know. We have to break out the memory banks if.
As Hart
Ow!
takes it wide on outplay, picks up a first down to the 16.
We're gonna take it and stick a pin in it, Colin. We called that one. 3 picks in a row.
As they blew up the guard who was trying to pull, but Hart BYB, be your own blocker.
Yeah, be your own blocker. Yeah, you could get a good sense for how hard it is to get Hart to the ground there.
And Hart again plows forward for 2
from that end zone. Cam, not to be confused with the league commissioner Cam.
As Warren Murray has 7 carries for 66 yards. And given that he had over 20 carries for $175 last week versus Arizona, gotta wonder why the change. Part of it perhaps is because Sioux Falls has been so efficient as they pick up 1 yard. Panati again on the hit. He's been an outside backer, moved inside with PJ Lovelace's departure to Arizona in the offseason. We have a 3rd and 6 situation from the 12. They can pick up a first down without scoring.
Hey, that's my line.
Here's Tyree, pump fake, fires! Oh, Surgeon James was open, but he pulled the string a little too much.
To nobody. And fortunately, the DB wasn't a little speedier. Or that was a step and a half. That was a catchable ball. For another pick. Well, 4th and 6. They're just going to put some more points on the board here and attempt to. Hey, we didn't talk about it, but one of the earlier passes back to the holder, Colin, on a kick was really bad. They've been good ever since that first janky one.
Now it's smooth as butter as the kick is good, and it's now 30-13 game.
30-14.
30-14. Well, my math is off today.
Your reading skills, that might be what's off. Numbers. Talk or good or better numbers count down.
And
talk.
And the kickoff by Maxwell is away as Brown turns it up to the 26. How many times have we said that today?
Well, the Kappa drives at Western were infamous for their midday raids when they would compel entire floors out of a dorm over to Waldo Stadium to watch the Broncos play football. They used surprise and intimidation, just like the Spanish Inquisition, to compel people to participate in sports watching activities in Kalamazoo.
Here they go, stretch play to Murray, only about his 8th carry. We're calling. He's up to 68 yards. Good, healthy average, but surprising this guy hasn't gotten the ball more. He's got in the ground game. He's gotten in the pass game too. But this team is now down by a bundle. Ethan Kai in the chat says, "Don't throw deep, please." No, they go short.
They'll throw wide.
And that'll lose yards. It's back to the 27. Jack Wall of the Jacksonville Kings in the chat.
Welcome in. Lively chat also.
And pump fake. Johnson goes down.
Should have thrown a ball.
Oh, man.
You know what? That timer, Colin, was going off in his head. But instead of either throwing it or trying to move around a little bit.
Nick Fargo on the sack. So the linebacker comes on a blitz, goes around everybody.
North Dakota makes a play for South Dakota.
And Adams back, standing just past his own 10. As the kick is away. And Levy spins, makes a couple of hits up the middle. He got open. Oh, touchdown! Sioux Falls!
Colin, if he didn't have the ball in his hand, he would have garnered a flag for clipping as he ran right up the back of the defender. Hashtag money's worth. Let's see that again.
Oh, my.
Let's see if we get a number on that guy.
Makes Duke spins.
Right.
I believe that was Darnell Black. And
oh, no.
It's just been that kind of day for Houston, unfortunately.
A bleak day for Black, as he's in a good position to potentially save a score. Instead, it's a touchdown. Did he break the plane? Yes.
Very easily. He broke the plane. And Devon Simeon in a state of disbelief. As the extra point is through, so with 5:02 to go in the third, Sioux Falls leads 37-14 over Houston. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and 4 to Fan. As people are picking themselves off the floor here in South Dakota, following a spectacular punt return by A.J. Levy. And Leroy Brown trying to make something happen. It's starting to get a little case of deja vu what we saw last week with Vancouver and New Orleans. You know, it was close to halftime, Rick, and all of a sudden, Sioux Falls just puts the boot on the neck of the Hyenas, and
right. It looks like
we've
got like a closer game in the offing, and nope. Here's step on the gas.
Gives a Murray up the middle, and Lauren Murray picks up 7 yards. He's now up to 75.
Number 42, credited with the tackle. Second and 3.
James Manzi in the chat asking why is there football at about 12:13 p.m. And he says it's brunch.
It's brunch.
Says Kanye Rockefeller.
There's a tasty buffet of all kinds of things today. Back-to-back pick sixes, tipped balls, interceptions off tip drills, punt returns for scores, first possession, first play picks, imposing of the will running, surprise busted coverage for big gains. They got it all.
3 wide receivers. Johnson back to throw. Fires this one down the middle, and D.R. Sim with its third catch in the day down to 43. D.R. Sim in the chat doesn't even recognize your own Twitch handle, Rick. He was asking who you were.
Rick's Bank. That's me. Sounds like Rick. Not. So the Riksbank is the Federal Reserve of Sweden. For those of you who care or don't care, I don't care whether you care or not. And for those that know me, I'm a career banker. So see, that's cool. And I'm half Swedish, so it all works.
Here's Murray again, takes the handoff, and they're down by 23, and they're finally running the ball. Murray now up to about 83 yards. Ryan Caudell keeping track of the stats for us, calling it hard over 100.
Yeah, I'll cry myself to sleep tonight now that I really know that D.R. Sims didn't know who I was on the chat, so I guess I'm a nobody.
Well, it's a lot of names to keep track of. In Devon's defense,
A good friend, Colin. And, of
Sure.
course, he went with a straightforward D.R. Sims handle, so, yeah. Avoids that confusion.
3rd and 10. Murray lost a yard on the swing. Murray we got 5 receptions, 35 yards for Hart. Johnson is in the gun by himself, fires over the middle, and is caught. And welcome to the football game. Leroy Brown, his first reception of the day is good for about an 11-yard pickup.
There you go. Yeah, my Kappa Kappa drive pledging came to an end when on one of those raids, I wasn't the fastest guy. I was pretty fast, but they were all athletes. And I got caught by the rival fraternity, Entertainment Unlimited, and was actually captured by Entertainment Unlimited. So I got kicked out of the pledge program at Kappa Kappa Drive.
As Wiggins catches that pass and goes out of bounds for 3 yards. As the siren song says, they, referring to Sioux Falls, weren't originally on anyone's radar, but they're forcing everybody to take notice. And Mike and Proda says, you refuse to swallow the goldfish.
Right.
That's the real reason.
That's the real reason. Well, Sioux Falls is kind
the
of
throw complete.
Yeah, talk about Sioux Falls, and they've added some twists and wrinkles. They're a little different this year, eh, Colin?
They are indeed, as Dax Lewis catches that for a first down. They went with defensive linemen. They have a non-contract defensive tackle to complete out their front. As Murray hits it wide, cuts inside of a couple of blockers, picks up 7.
My Kappa Kappa drive pledging, which ended unhappily, turned into something very fortunate. I became a member, pledge, and became a full-fledged member of Entertainment Unlimited. They had a house right on West Michigan, right on Central Campus. Their main goal in life was to host parties that they'd charge for, and the objective was to pay the rent and to meet girls. And they were very successful at both.
Throw a little knocked away by Fuentes. His second deflection. Fortunately for Houston, that deflection didn't result in a pick. This pass, I believe. Oh, they're not going to show the receiver in the end zone that pass was intended for.
Well, the truck's been doing a good job today, but they maybe muffed that one. And again, shout out to Ryan Caudell holding down the stats for us. Super helpful.
Makes us sound smart.
Excuse you.
As 3rd and 3, over the middle, complete. That is Duke Wilson, first down, first and goal from the 9.
I don't know. You're always smart, Colin, but I need all the help I can get.
That was just the second third down conversion for the Hyenas. They're now 2 of 7.
First and goal from Will Sparrow, 9 yards.
And 4 wide. Will they get it out before the quarter expires? Yes, they will. Play action. Throw for Brown.
Fall in the end zone.
He didn't fall in the end zone. He fell in 2. It'll be second and goal when we come back.
Couldn't even get a cheek on.
As we have reached the end of the third quarter. Sioux Falls firmly in control of this one, 37-14. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the Fan. As we start the fourth quarter of play, Sparrows firmly in control of this one, 37-14.
And your Hyenas trying to claw back into this, and they're in position to do so, Colin. Still with a full quarter to go, which in the SFL can mean a lot of time.
Here's play action again. Johnson pumps. He goes down. That was Jonathan Camp, the second round pick. The other defensive end coming in with full force and bringing Johnson down for sack. These two guys aren't to mess around with. Kelly is 6'4", 282. Camp is 6'5", 290. But both can move like decidedly lighter individuals. So we have third and goal from the 7. Offside, free play. Johnson fires it out to Murray. He'll get to the line of scrimmage and most likely take the penalty yardage.
Sioux Falls was wise to that play, but they commit an offense against the offense.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 95. Defense. Half the distance.
Noel Therese, the preferred walk-on player, lined up at his nose tackle.
That guy Terrazas?
Yes,
Yes.
Terrazas.
Got it.
Lined up at his nose tackle position, tried to get a jump on the play, but a little too eager.
A little antsy.
Moved the ball to 4. I formation. Johnson will fire to Murray.
Oh!
Who makes a spectacular.
Nice. Nicely done.
Watch this play. The linebacker read it. No, the corner tried to read it perfectly. That was Ringgold, the free safety. But it was just past his outstretched arm. Beautiful throw from Johnson.
Throws it behind him, knows he's got an athlete out there who one-hands it in the process of doing a 360. Doesn't get dizzy, puts it in the end zone. Well, they're trying to narrow this down to just a 16-point deficit, which is manageable.
Indeed. So with 10:02 left in the game, the Hyenas now cut it to a 37-21 game. As you're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans. Looking over the drive summary provided by our statistician Ryan Cadell, that was 15 plays, 75-yard drive, longest in terms of plays by either side. Hyenas also had a 78-yard drive, so showing the ability to move the ball down the field over large distances. And that should help them here down by 16, although they got to move a little quicker with 9:57 left, I would think, Rick.
Indeed. There is time. They're going to have to be efficient, and it starts with Houston getting a defensive stop here.
Riley Porter tight to the formation. Wells and Hart, the running backs. Here is to get to Hart up the middle, and he took a man for a ride. He picked up 5 yards.
Second and 5. I think the advantage is on the offense right now at this down and distance.
There you go. Bring in a third tight end, swap out the wide receiver. Here's to get to Wells, and Wells stopped in the line of scrimmage for no gain.
They try that inside handoff, and it's right into the teeth of the Hyena defense. So now the defense gets themselves back on schedule.
There's a look at Nani, the inside backer, on this 3rd and 5 situation. They try quarterback sneak with Tyree. He gains a little bit of yardage, but not much, and it'll be 4th down. Here's a look at the man they call Captain Jack Sparrow. He has 206 touchdowns, 3rd all time, over 3,000 completions, a quarterback rating of 87.5, also 226 interceptions, but this guy is Mr. Sparrow, the way Bob Lilly was Mr. Cowboy for Dallas.
Indeed.
As the punt is away, Leroy Brown breaks the tackle and gets up to the 29-yard line. So 8:18 left. They're down by 16, and they need quick scoring drives. Would be preferred by Mr. Simeon.
Exactly. Did you notice the manly breaking of the tackle attempt there by Leroy Brown? The first man in got him up high around the shoulders, and he just kind of
press coverage on the outside by the corners. Is pump. He goes to Josh Fed short. He tried to go deep, but had to go short, and will pick up 2 yards.
And that pump fake's designed to get some separation or some hesitation out of the DBs. Doesn't work. He's got to go to his safety valve. Picks up a couple.
2nd and 8. They go 2 receivers to the top. They go out to Wiggins on that flat cut, and they only pick up 1 yard. So they're letting the underneath stuff pass, but they're closing quickly, bringing everybody down.
Hyenas are, sorry, Colin. The Hyenas are taking what they're being given, but they're going to have a receiver break free a little bit deeper downfield here.
And Johnson fires down the middle, knocked away. This time it was Fargo, now Fuentes. 4th down and 7. And unfortunately for Houston, they'll have to punt again.
You may disagree with me, but I think this is 4-down territory.
Oh.
They are going to punt and play defense, and they're encouraged by they're doing that, obviously, because they're encouraged by their defense from the previous stand.
Let's hope for their sake they can get a turnover. Set their offense up with better field position. Levy spins twice and gets knocked down at 34.
Nothing doing. Good coverage by the Hyenas on that one. Levy always dangerous, as we've seen.
Coming up next at 10:30 Eastern, we have the Charleston Predators taking on the Vancouver Legion. That'd be a fun game.
10:30 Eastern. It's already 12:30. Oh, 10:30 p.m. Thank you.
As Colin Hart up the middle will pick up about 7 yards. He's now up to 117. It's just 19 totes of the ball.
So it's later tonight or later today.
Later tonight.
Not next. You've got a full slate of games coming at you. Here from the SFL.
Here's Brown, lines up as the farthest wing tight end in this 3 tight end look. Tyree gives off to Wells, and Jalen Wells pops through the middle to the Sioux Falls 47. Up for first down, Kai Cash on the top.
Surprisingly so. Thought he was going to be stoned at the line.
Like he has been the previous few times he's toted the football. But beautiful blocking inside, and he was able to pop through. Here's A.J. Warren, lines up in the slot. Here to turn, get to Colin Hart, and Hart powers ahead for a pickup of 7. Clock continues to run. We're now under 6 minutes to go. Hart now up to 20 carries. 5.4 yards a carry, according to our statistician, Ryan Caudell. Thank you very much for those numbers, Ryan. Blitz shown by Houston. Colin Hart breaking tackles. And he gets to the 40 for another first down.
Well, they are working the clock now to their advantage. Colin, a steady diet of running with the occasional West Coast passing concept.
Yeah, they're just man-balling Houston at this point. Now to pull the guard play, and they pick up 3 yards. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns today. Remember, he came in with 0 touchdowns.
Oh,
so
you're right.
It's a impressive bounce-back performance.
It is, and I think if Sioux Falls is able to possess this ball and get the clock under 4, close to 3, they may not care what happens after that point. That's not
Here's
a lot of time
the
left.
pass down the middle, and it was knocked away by Salinas, but there was a flag. Might have had the defender getting a little too comfortable with the wide receiver. Yep, we have a pass interference call on the Hyenas, and it was Salinas.
Getting a little handsy there. A little grabby.
And, you know, Demond Simeon just kind of laughing about that. You know, it's just been one of those days where just about everything that's gone wrong has gone wrong, unfortunately, for Mr. Sim.
Well, there have been some breakdowns. Well, there have been breakdowns on both sides of the ball, but yeah, the Sparrows have just maybe executed a little bit better.
They'd pick up a 1 on first down.
I mean, the Hyenas have 21 points, Colin. That's not anything to sneeze at.
Unless they're covered by pollen, but I get your point. Now they go 3 tight ends.
Oh.
And we got a man jumping off.
After being pretty clean the first half. We got a few hankies here in the second half.
We have penalty called on
getting a little
Kingsley.
Yeah, getting a little frustrated, a little nervous on both sides.
Just trying to get ahead of the snap count. You know, that's a young player, his first year in the league.
Just trying to make a play, right?
Yeah.
Trying to make a play. And they know, they heard your call, Colin, that the Hyena defense could really help the team by getting a turnover. Doing something special on this Sparrows possession. They're trying to make that happen.
Now they go 1 receiver, that's Porter to the bottom. Pair of tight ends. Split back. Tyree sneaks it.
was
he
just
will
going to
not.
say, maybe they'll get lucky and the Sparrows will call yet another QB sneak that will go for 0 yards.
If I'm Julian Tyree, I'm going to Jason McGee's office on Monday morning and saying, Coach, can we take out the quarterback sneaks, please? I don't want to be crushed by 300-plus pound men anymore.
They don't seem to be working. I got a tiny head.
3rd and 3.
Getting squeezed by these D linemen.
Here's to get to Wells on 3rd and 3. Picks up the first down. His best run of the day. Gets him to the 15.
We're going to give Wells some love here.
He has 11 yards on 4 carries.
Yeah, some couple of crucial carries here.
Long run is 6 yards.
Later in the game.
We have a 1st and 10 from the 15. Play clock under 10. And Wells gets the carry to the line of scrimmage. And Rodney
And the Sparrows
Panati again with the tackle. This guy has been awfully busy. He's got 13, now 14 tackles and a pass deflection.
And the Sparrows will have an opportunity to just let this wind down to the 2-minute warning. As we're at 2:12 and ticking.
And they
will they step up to the line. Let's see.
Well, they snap it before the 2-minute warning. And they will not. So Sioux Falls leads 37-21. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans. And this is another one of those grinding drives. This one 11 plays, and they have taken about 3:30 off the clock by our best official estimate.
It may even be more.
Here's to get hard on 2nd down.
No.
Almost burning their timeouts. Like they're creating a hole in their pocket.
Yeah. I think that's about all that's left to do, unfortunately, for the Hyenas. Like I said, they scored 21 points and showed an ability to move the ball up and down the field, but in defense, just a little short today for Houston, Colin.
And here is the handoff to Hart as Willie Beeman come into the game for Tyree. On 3rd down, and they will have to kick another field goal. Texton Lewis says his backup Brad Wiggins outplayed him today. Oh, I wouldn't necessarily say that. You both made some good plays. TB3_BA says, when can we wager on these games? And our commissioner, executive producer Cameron Irvine says, coming soon. As the field goal from 24 yards is good. So with 1:49 left, it's now 40-21. And for Maxwell Fowler, he's 4 of 4 field goals today. Sparrows have run 66 plays, the Hyenas 60.
Wow, that's interesting.
This will be the beginning of drive number 13 for the Hyenas. Both squads have had 13 drives Although they've had plenty of 1-play, 2-play, 3-play drives.
There have been a few of those. Yeah, both sides. There was a pick sequence earlier in the game. Not sure if that's ever happened before. But it happened.
And Johnson, under center, will throw to Murray, who's got a blocker in front, got the first down and more. He's tackled in bounds, and here comes the hurry up as he's marked down short of 50 at the Hyena 49. And Johnson fires it out again to Murray, and Warren Murray this time goes out of bounds at the pickup of 5. Jason McGee paying his compliments to us. We appreciate you too, Jason. Your squad definitely balled out in a major way today.
Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody who's been listening in the chat. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Now they empty the backfield with 4 wide receivers. They go to the bunt, and Leroy Brown dropped the ball.
I'm not sure.
And hit between the ones, and he dropped it.
There's a little confusion over there, too, as you never really want to have 2 receivers sort of within arm's reach of each other.
3rd down and 5. Shotgun formation for Johnson. He's got Murray to his left. Back to throw he goes. Fires. Complete to Sim for the first down. Out of bounds at the Sioux Falls 41.
Nice play, and that reminds me, Colin, the Hyenas had that great scoring play along the sideline where they threw it behind the receiver to avoid the pick or the interference there, or the knockdown. He one-hands it, spins around, and
again they go empty.
Sprints into the end zone.
Duke Johnson to the bottom. Back to throw he goes. Fires to the sideline. Caught by Duke Wilson, and Wilson gets plastered out of bounds by Lane. That's his 3rd catch on 5 targets.
Yeah, but not before he makes a first down.
Lane making a huge impact. Backups are in for Sioux Falls. About this last minute, 9 seconds. Opportunity for them to get some playing time.
And the Hyenas I clearly want to try and work some kinks out here late in this game. Try and set themselves up for next week.
Here's a get to Murray. Will muscle his way to the 21, and they'll call hurry up. Here's Johnson. High snap. Has to fire down the middle of the field. Oh, it's by Barry. He probably had a touchdown if he can hang on to the ball.
That's a tough catch to make because you know you're going to get clobbered, and he'd already spotted where the defenders were before he looks to spot the ball to make that catch. And
they're in 6 from 21.
That's tough.
They go empty backfield. They go trips to the bottom this time. Snap to the sideline. It's going to be 2 yards short, but they're going to go for it for sure as Brown this time makes the catch. They're 4th and 2 from the 17. Johnson. Oh! Knocked away by the linebacker. That should just about do it. Knocked away by Cade Bailey. Pass intended for the slants. That was Josh Fed. And it's just been one of those days for the Hyenas, unfortunately. They'll fall to 1-1. Sioux Falls will move to 2-0.
2-0 in South Dakota. And the home crowd is very excited.
They call timeout. That's our last one. Couple more kneel downs by Willie Beeman. For the Hyenas, they did some things pretty well, but unfortunately, Kentez Johnson had trouble throwing to his own teammates, unfortunately.
Yeah, a couple of too many picks. I mean, you're going to get picks, but exactly. Hey, don't forget to pay attention to the scroll and the crawler at the bottom of your screen. You can see the lineup for today and the upcoming days as we get into more SFL football. If you're football junkies like Colin and I, it's just a golden time.
They'll likely have to snap it
Just one more time.
One more time here at third down. And
there it
that's
is.
the ball game. Final score is Sioux Falls 40, Houston 21. Rick, as we take a look at some of the numbers, what do you think we can take away?
Well, you know, it's actually a pretty even game by the numbers. There is quite a differential in the rushing yard. That ends up being one of the stories, as well as the turnovers and the special team breakdown that the Hyenas had, allowing that score. It's just they're two good teams. Like I said, the Hyenas, you know, put points on the board. They can move the ball. They got a lot of weapons, and I think today, just the Sparrows kind of had a little bit better team, maybe a little bit better on offense versus the Hyena defense than vice versa.
And this tip drill was crazy. It's Ty Cash caught it off a deflection of a wide receiver. And, you know, Warren Murray, kind of a down game for him after last week. Finishes with 90 yards, about 13 carries. Maxwell Fallick kicks 4 field goals to help our team to victory. Kentez Johnson, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. But unfortunately for him, those 4 interceptions and the punt return that Rick referred to earlier, AJ Levy just running over people and doing a celebration. Murray, 46 yards and a touchdown through the air. Colin Hart, 142 yards and a couple of rushing touchdowns. His first 2 on the year. Guy had over 700 rushing yards last year, so he's well on track to perhaps surpass that.
You know, it's interesting, Colin, even though the teams are evenly matched, it occurs to me that the Rick meter had moved over towards the Sparrows and had stayed on the Sparrows side of the Rick meter the entire game. That's kind of rare when that happens, and it sort of snuck up on me, that fact. And here's your player of the game.
It's Colin Hart with 25 carries for 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, as well as 14 yards receiving on a couple of swing passes. For those of us at the Simulation Football League, for our statistician Ryan Caudell, for our executive producer and esteemed commissioner Cameron Irvine, I'm Colin Northup, he's Rick Northup. Have a good day, everyone.